Welcome everybody to When the Right One Comes, the men's edition. And it's called today, What Women Really Want to Know from Men. What women really want to know from men. I've had women from all over the country DM me questions for the panel today. I want to do something different, ask the men. And so we want you to comment, but I want you to subscribe and like the channel. That little thumbs up, like the channel When the Right One Comes. We are overhauling the whole channel. Welcome to Groundbreaking Studios. Every Monday night, 10 p.m., expect us to roll out a new episode every week. Let me know how you're enjoying it. Below is how you can support the studio, how you can support When the Right One Comes, and all that I do. So I have some influential men of our city, the city of Detroit, that we invited to be a part of Ask the Men. And it's their perspective, and I'm sure along the way you'll find your voice of what you like and what you want to hear. You know, I did a men's panel for 3 years during the pandemic online, over 100 episodes, and many of you heard from the men and got their perspective. You always want to listen to the opposite sex so you'll learn what it is that they want and like. You can't just listen to another woman because you have the same thoughts, but a man will tell you what a man needs and wants. So today, whenever you're watching this, you're going to hear from the men. And back with me, he's a resident here. He did the first episode here. And I want him to introduce us. I'm going to let each one of them introduce themselves and kind of tell what they do in the marketplace.
Well, what up, though, Bishop? Glad to be back with you and these amazing...
Founding member.
For sure. Right. Got the first Go With God membership.
Got it.
So...
And got your date on the wall. You signed the wall.
You know it. No, glad to be back here at the Groundbreaking Studios. What you're doing, your vision is amazing. Glad to be with these amazing brothers as well. You know, if we had to move the color purple on the screen here, I'd tell you just like Sophia, all my life I had to fight. And so 2023 being 23 years as a survivor of stage 4 cancer and putting out my 16th book, and whether it's doing a TED Talk or just empowering people in the community is what it's all about.
Congratulations on the TED Talk.
Appreciate that. Yeah. Services are rent we pay for the space we occupy. So glad to occupy the space and give back to help people move forward.
And his DMs are full right now.
Soaking wet.
Yes, sir. All right. Welcome, sir.
Yeah, it's always amazing going after Eddie because he always got these beautiful words, right? My name is Darius Beard. I'm excited to be here as well. This is my first time in this amazing studio. If y'all haven't been to Groundbreaking Studio, this is one of the most best studios I've ever been to.
Oh, man.
My background is in real estate. I do real estate development. I've been doing real estate development for 7 years, started in residential, then got into commercial real estate where I buy mixed-use multifamily development properties.
Good to know you, man, and thank you for saying that. I know you wasn't just saying that because you see a lot of property.
There you go.
Right. My ex-neighbor.
Yeah.
Hello, sir.
How you doing, Bishop? Super excited to be here along these esteemed brothers. And along you, Bishop, you've been a great friend of mine for years, and I appreciate you and thank you for the invite.
And we go to the same church.
Right?
Yeah.
So shout out to Triumph Life. But my name is Armand Rashad. I own Jabs Gym at Easter Market. My life is broken up to 3 major pillars: fitness, real estate, and then mentorship. I think it's super important. I grew up without a dad, so I think it's super important that we stay in the faces and the minds and the hearts of young black boys. So that's kind of my current mission. And today I'm going to be a relationship expert. So and try to shine some light on perspective of being a young man in America today.
And congratulations on several fronts. What God is about to do next for the gym.
Oh, well,
He takes destruction and he builds something new in the midst of it. And absolutely. I know that's a weird thing to say after devastation, but everything God has done in my life has been after devastation. It's right here. I went through something in the midst of doing this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so congratulations on what's next for you, and congratulations on your inheritance.
Hold on, can we zoom in on a little baby at least? Can we zoom in on a pretty little baby? I'm that type of dad. So you want to see my baby? I didn't know I would be this way, but I'm giddy. I got a 2-month-old, and man, I'm unbelievably blessed and excited, man. And she's just perfect. She what I didn't think I needed.
So ladies, all fathers are not deadbeats and not excited about their children.
That part.
Hello, right there.
That
All
part.
right.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get started. Things that the ladies want to know. Ask the men tonight. I want to start at the beginning. Let's talk about Kimberly from Norfolk sent this. What is your ideal? We're just gonna play like everybody's single, so I don't want nobody. If you're watching and you attached to it, we're playing like we just playing.
Disclaimer.
We don't want nobody talking about what was that you said.
Right.
With my lady right in front of me.
Right, we got that in the studio already.
Well, I ain't worried about her. She understands this whole game right now. That's a real man. Did y'all hear? He said she's sitting right in front. Shout out to my girl Makia, because she has bought into this studio. I appreciate you, bro.
Yeah.
More than you know.
I appreciate her.
Yeah.
You appreciate her.
Yeah, I appreciate and it's because of her that you're here tonight. She
Absolutely.
said, my man coming.
Oh man.
And shout out to Keon Clinton, because he was supposed to be here. And he had an accident, and so we're praying for him.
Oh, wow.
And you coming. You
Yeah,
didn't
absolutely.
know.
No.
He had an accident. We got
Yeah, I found out you through you.
Yeah, he had
Oh,
an
wow.
accident. Sent the pictures and everything.
Praying for that brother, yeah.
So, first dates. What is an ideal first date for a man of influence? A man that making six figures, a man that has done TED Talks, a man who's a real estate mogul, owns his own property gym. We're talking to guys that are not just your average guys. What is a first date? Because there's this big thing. Matter of fact, I did it on Clubhouse the day before they may even still be on there, but I host a room in Clubhouse every day, and we talked about coffee dates.
Yeah.
And there was a viral video of a young woman that was talking about, I don't want no coffee dates. I want to go. I want to go out immediately to I'm spending $36 for a concealer, putting on the wig and makeup and all that. Don't take me to a coffee shop. Now, full disclosure,
You want to be seen.
when I was this is gonna be good. Full disclosure, when I was doing my television show on Word Network, I would leave there every day. Eddie, you probably seen me down. I would sit at Starbucks every day before the pandemic, and sometime I would meet somebody and I would say, "Meet me at Starbucks," and then it would turn into a date after that. So, gentlemen, what is an ideal first date?
You got it.
Come on,
Relationship coach.
I think that I'll tell you something I don't like.
What's that?
Man, don't bring up. Oh, my girl used to. I did not see you. I dislike that. I think one thing when you promoting your business and you got to be in the public eye. I think I just want people to take me for me. You know what I mean? Just like, listen, whatever I tell you, that's what I told you. Whatever you told me, that's what you told me. I don't want to, hear about your girl that used to like me in college. You know what I mean? I think it takes away from our ability to start from ground zero and get to know each other organically. And I just want to start. I just like an even playing field where everybody can just kind of start with getting to know each other from square one and not any preconceived notions. I know that's definitely a barrier to entry for me.
Coffee date or not?
I'm cool with the coffee date. Yeah, I'm cool with the coffee.
If a woman says no, I don't want to meet you at the coffee place. I don't want to meet you for that. Is that a like deal
No, 'cause,
breaker?
I mean, at that point, I think now she may be just trying to get a free meal at that point, right? Like, and women have told
You
me
gonna
I got a
eat
gym,
anyway?
right? I got a gym exactly. I got a gym full of women, and they tell me, Armand, sometimes I go to dinner with men, and I don't even like them. I just they invited me to, hey, meet me at Roof Chris or meet me at Capitol Grill, meet me at this place, and they like that place, and they agreed to the date where this man spending $200-300 on dinner, and they agreed to it just because they want to eat the food. They're not really interested in the man at all. So I like the idea of a coffee date.
Okay, and she said that it's like I'm on display. He really wants to come see how I really look. Yeah, that's me talking. Yeah. So, what's an ideal first date?
So for me, my ideal first date is based off my intentions, right? So
That's good.
So before, my ideal first dates look different when my intentions were to get the goods or to execute or to be promiscuous with a woman, right? My ideal first date would look like, let's go somewhere where we can indulge, we can drink, we can have fun, we can dance, we can dance, we can be misogynist, right? Now, for me, the space that I'm in right now, my first date looks like fun and communication. I want to get to know you because my intentions my intentions are to date you for a wife. I'm looking for a wife. So for me, it's all about where my intentions are at. So for me, I can do a coffee date all day because I love to understand how a woman thinks. Like, I want to ask questions. I don't want to be in a loud setting where I can't really get to intimately know you. I want to get to ask those deep questions. I want to understand who you are as a person because for me, that lets me know where I'm going to take this relationship.
So the kind of date has to do with intentions, is what you're saying.
Yes.
So when you were younger and wasn't serious,
Oh, yeah.
the date looked different.
Let's meet at the club.
Oh, I love it. A club date.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the
Because
first
you
thing
only
I'm-
have one
only got one intention. The
Yeah.
first thing I'm gonna do when I get there, I'm ordering 2 rounds.
Right.
What's that doing?
Cause that's gonna get
I'm
you
at it
Juices
dumb.
flow.
Yeah, right. That's gonna wake everybody up. That's gonna wake
I ain't been a
everybody up.
bishop all the time. Yeah.
Right? So now, everybody gonna be more loose, everybody gonna be more free flowing. Once alcohol, we know once alcohol gets into individuals, different people come out. And for me,
Listen, ladies, listen. Go ahead.
And for me, like, that's what I wanted in that moment. So for me now, I don't go to the club and meet women. I like to, have taco dates and just we in the kitchen cooking together for
Sober
the first
dates,
date
yeah.
where we can sober dates. There you go.
Yeah.
So we can actually build and get to know each other. Because for me, I'm looking for a wife at this stage.
And you're a man with means that you can do the $300 date.
Absolutely, I've done the $300 dates. I've done I met you out. And now let's go get something to eat. $300 dates.
Yeah,
I didn't even
same
get to
day.
know you. I just met you same day, and we went from the bar to the dinner.
Yeah.
Same dates.
Let me ask you a question, then I'm coming at it. Because a man spends, I have a philosophy. Just because you have a good time don't mean you're a lifetimer.
Okay.
Do you agree with that?
Absolutely.
Because a man that has means will throw $300 away like it's nothing. It's disposable. Versus a man that don't have as much. So tell the ladies, does that mean anything? Because a man of means spends a lot of money on you?
Absolutely not. Because if I'm treating you that way, that means that's showing my motives.
Ooh.
Yeah.
If I'm willing to spend money to get you to do a certain kind of thing, then that should be telling you where my mind is at.
Yeah.
And part of it, if I can add to what D said, part of it, Bishop, half the time I was already going there to eat anyway.
That's what I said a little while ago. I'm eat anyway, so I don't know.
I was
just
already
gonna
going
have company
anyway.
tonight.
Yeah. And he's like, "Oh, Miss, thank you for taking me to a nice spot." And it's like, I meet here with my guys every Thursday anyway. So
That's why they know my name. Didn't you just call me? That's why we got this table.
exactly.
Go ahead, Eddie.
I think it's depending on wallet versus wisdom. Do you just want?
Write it down. Write it down.
Do you want to know what I'm driving or what's driving me? And whether we pull up for coffee or we getting crumpets, we going to Starbucks or we going to Cheesecake Factory or Ruth's Chris. Either one shouldn't matter.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so, like you talked about, just for a good time or a lifetime, if you intend on a lifetime, doesn't matter what we do, whether we going bowling or whether we're, going to a banquet. Either one shouldn't really matter because you enjoy my company. You want to get to know who it is that I am. And so whether that's an inexpensive date or a very expensive date, either one of them shouldn't really matter at the end of the day.
I have a book and workbook, and shameless plug for real, Do's and Don'ts of Dating, and it talks about the dating experience. If you don't have it, you need to get it. But I always say that a second date is not guaranteed, and you shouldn't feel like you were dumped, ghosted, or anything. There's no expectations or intentions if somebody don't call you for a second date. So Kimberly also had a follow-up. After the first date, when you want, do you ask for a second date immediately? When should the second date come? The question of the second date, does it come immediately? Does it come a week later? Does it get a phone call? Either one of you can answer this. When is the second date? And do you think a man should follow up and say, I enjoyed myself, but I don't want to do anything else. We done. We're not going on another date. Personally, I don't think that either person owes an explanation if there were no expectations in the first place. See, I know how to rhyme too. Anybody can answer it. Second date.
I would say, sometimes you have to have a Selah moment. You got to think on these things.
That's good.
You know,
What if it's really good though?
it-
Do you do sometimes? Have you ever done that before? Said, I'm gonna see you again.
yeah,
Immediately?
yeah. I've done that. More times has been they want to see me again before I'm even expressing. it. I'm saying.
Well,
I'm
after
saying.
you got through talking to them, and I was about to say something, and talk their clothes off of them.
No, I mean I'm a workaholic. I'm busy, so I need to see if even if I really enjoy it, I still need to make sure that the only time work comes before, the only time play comes before work is in the dictionary. So I need to make sure that, hey, all right, I got this itemized so I can really dedicate my time to who it is that I want to see.
Yeah.
So I think it is whether he's expressing it or she's expressing it. If you both had a good time, I don't think either one is an issue. Sometimes women feel like, well, I don't want to say it because I don't want to take the lead. You just communicate.
Y'all agree with that? It's
I
all
agree
right
with
for a
that.
woman to say, I like to, but what if you say no? What if you, isn't that an awkward thing? Because I know the women that watch me, they're going to say, I would never say to a man about going on a second date. Is that?
That's what they say publicly.
Yeah, that's what they say publicly. It happens all the time.
Are y'all
It
kidding
happens
me?
all the
It
time.
happens all the time.
It happens all the time.
100%.
You all have had, I know you have. Hey, I know this is kind of awkward, but hey, can we go out again?
It happens all the
No,
time.
look, you're right, man. I mean, I don't take offense to that or anything. I think that we are in a day and age where women do need to be a little more aggressive.
I do too.
Just because, I mean, there is a limited amount of brothers that are performing a certain way, who have a limited amount of time, and so I don't have any, problem with women being a little aggressive.
Even in your DMs or asking you to go out, or I'm interested, shooting a shot.
The women asking you to go out is a little interesting to me because, they're asking you to go out, but then all of a sudden, somehow I always pay if I do agree to it. Times in my life where I have agreed, I end up paying, which I think is a little interesting.
So hold on. I feel a little something here. You're saying that if she asks you out for the first time, she should pay.
Yeah, and I'm cool with whatever she wants to do. If she say, I would love to grab coffee
Oh,
with
I
you one
can't
time.
wait
I'd
to
love
see these
what I mean?
comments.
And I say, okay, well, cool. I mean, 'cause she's asking me out, saying that she thinks it may be, because what I'm saying, and fellas back me up if I'm right, when I'm saying if I'm asking a woman out, I'm saying I think that we may have a spark here, and I would love to spend some more time with you to maybe see if this spark is really there. And so I think there's no problem if a woman asks that same thing. And and I don't care about who pays. I just think that it makes it kind of iffy when a woman asks you out. And is it on her to pay? Is it on you? You know what I mean? It makes it a little bit different than the normal flow of things.
It's a nicety, right? If a woman asks me out and pays for something, I kind of have a different level of respect for her. Like
Right.
I'm looking at her differently because normally, even a woman would ask me out, I would normally cover the bill.
Right.
Because for one, I showed up. Right, I showed up to the date that I didn't have to show up. I could have actually turned her down. So for me, I usually look at that as an obligation to pay for the bill. But if a woman goes out of her pocket to show me a good time, I do have a different level of respect
absolutely.
for her.
That's true.
And I have a different, because for me, it's all about looking at her character. Like that's where I'm at right now. I'm analyzing for who you are as a person. To me, to your friends, to the person that's opening the door, to the janitor, to the person you're speaking to, I'm analyzing your character. So for me, I think that's just an indicator. So for example, I got a friend of mine that he's dating a young lady. He does real estate as well too. He's dating a young lady and she's living in one of his properties and she's paying him rent. And I was like, wow, that tells a lot about her character.
Yeah.
She has enough respect for you to still know that you ain't paid for this for free. You had to work hard for yourself to gain this real estate. And why should I get a free ride?
Right.
So I'm gonna pay you, I'm gonna pay some rent.
Right. I gotta
now-
pause you. That's a no dating your tenant though. That is a
Yeah,
no
yeah,
dating.
yeah.
That's a no dating
So
your
he
tenant.
wasn't dating his tenant. He was a woman that he was dating that he looked out for. So
Yeah,
it's
okay.
the
Okay.
reverse,
Got it. Okay, and she still pays.
right?
Okay.
So and of course she probably not paying, the max he probably could
give a little
actually-
discount.
Yeah, of course, a discount.
She's paying the other forms of
But
I was about to say, right.
but think about the level of like respect and character that woman has that will go out of her pocket. The woman that the man that she's dating to put money back in your pocket. To know that this ain't for free. This ain't no free ride. I'm gonna support you just the same way you supported me because you didn't have to give me this house.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, ladies, it's all right to ask the man for a second date, and it's even okay if you ask him out to pay. So says Armand. I agree with it. Yeah. And I don't think women are aggressive enough in this day and time. You know, I come from another generation. They used to have what's called drop the hanky. Literally, a woman would drop her hanky and the man pick it up, and if he's interested, he's gonna say more. Here's your handkerchief, and what's your name?
Yeah.
You know what they do now?
What they do now?
They just stare at you.
That's true. And I'd be like, hello.
Till they get your attention.
Yeah, and I'd be like, hello. Just say hello, though. All right, so is that what happened with you? She just stared. No. Because you looked at her.
Let her tell the story.
Okay, so Kiara from Florida. 3 questions from her, and all of them are good. Do you believe, and this is Ask the Men. This is Ask the Men from ladies all over the country. Do you believe it's more important to establish wealth as a single first before you get married? Or are you open to the idea of getting married before you establish wealth? Let me say this. For me, I believe that especially a man should be established at least some know where he's going.
Yeah.
Because then he knows who he needs to stand by his side.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But go ahead.
Man, I think everything. I remember it was a song by a great philosopher named Roderick Davis, right? AKA Gucci Man, right? And he said a song called Bricks, and it was talking about drugs. I know this is groundbreaking studios, but it was talking about drugs. It said bricks, all white bricks. He said, "You want a bad chick, you gotta have bricks." This is a song when I was younger, and I remember it was like a nursery rhyme. Bricks, you want a bad chick, gotta have bricks. So that suggested to me that I remember TLC used to have a song say, "No, I don't want no scrub. Scrub is a guy that can't get no love from me," right? Hanging out look, what if a guy's working hard and he is in the pasture side of his? What if I'm riding around my goddamn, I'm riding around with Doctor, I'm riding around in the big G with you, you know what I mean? But I'm still working to get there. I think that it's not about whether we wanted to establish wealth first or get our I think it's about the way we're viewed and the way men are viewed by women when they don't have, when they're not driving a certain car, they don't have a certain watch, or their place is not laid out in a certain way. I think they're viewed different. I think they're looked at as a lower value man from a woman's perspective, because I really think women are the driver of that. It's not about what men essentially want, or if we feel. It's not about that. I think the marketplace says that, look, you gotta have some chips to ride this ride. And
does that mean that's a good man though?
I don't think it's good.
No, I'm saying, does it mean that man, because he has some chips and he's riding in the G-Wagon, does that mean he's a good man though?
No, not at all. Not at all. And I think that, I think I heard it best before. I think 90% of women are looking for 10% of men.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So, and every woman grows up thinking that she's a princess and thinking that she's the best thing that, has ever happened to, that happened to this world. And that's just not true in a man's eyes, unfortunately. And I'm thinking to myself how I navigate that to explain it to my daughter that, you're not going to be the best thing to every man. Most men, particularly guys sitting at this table, have lots of options. You got options in the airport. You got options when you get to your hotel room when you're traveling. You got options at your business. You got, you got so many. Sometimes it's sensory overload. There's so many, options that I think that anybody handling themselves with entitlement, I think, gets lost in the wash a little bit.
And we're more exposed with social media.
100%. Social media opened the whole thing up.
Yeah, and cause you to have more options.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. You want to add?
No, I'm going to let Eddie go.
Eddie?
Yeah, I mean, when you're thinking about the dynamics of relationships, you have to think about, ROI, and you're thinking about revenue, you're thinking about all of that. And I think really at the end of the day, romance without finance is a nuisance. I really think so. When you're thinking about even scripture says the unmarried man care for the things of the Lord, how he may please the Lord. The married man care for the things of the world, how he may please his wife. Right. And so, the niceties of life, the cosmopolitan aspect of buying this and buying that and trips and all these things, it's going to take money to do it. And I think, a lot of times the old school would tell you, well, no, just get together. If y'all rubbing 2 pennies together, y'all going to make it work. That's a different day and age. Yeah. When you're thinking about inflation, when you're thinking about the cost of living where it is, even in the poorest parts of America, so to speak, it still costs for you to, find a roof and really trying to build with somebody else. And so I think really when you think about that, you really got to have your ducks in a row. You really have to have your money together, and you really have to bring that to the table in that aspect and think about, as a man being castigated and categorized as a provider, money's going to be a part of that and a byproduct as well.
D, let me throw this to you. Do you ever feel as a successful man, and you all can chime in, that women see you as a meal ticket? Just a meal ticket. They don't see you. They just
Absolutely.
see you. I want you to speak for men that's in that 10% because you talk to them.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We see it all day, right? Men that are more well off have more access to more women. So that means that, the man with the most money could get majority of the women. So what does that tell you about the women? They're going after the money. Now, I challenge you to say that, money is important, right? But what about the other essentials? What about the things that money can't buy? Because for me, I don't want to overlook my wife because I don't have the money just yet, or I don't want to overlook someone that I think could be a good helpmate, because that's what God is asking us to do: find a helpmate. So if someone can help me to build more, maybe, and again, that's relative, right? Maybe I have enough wealth to sustain myself and the woman I am, and maybe a child, but maybe I don't have an abundance that I want. Maybe I don't have a generational amount of wealth, but this woman could come into my life and help me to expand that, and help me to grow that, and help me to grow my territory. So for me, I think it comes down to like the ambitions, the goals, the motivations. Is he a man of God? Like, I think there's so many other things that should be put before having money than having money, because there's so many other things that are more important to having a fruitful relationship.
Anybody right?
Oh yeah, I think there are certain things that you can't quantify, in regard to monetary. But when you live in a day and age like this, people are more so focused on your bag and your pockets and your body and your money than your mentality. Mm-hmm. And so you got to vet people. You really have to have these courageous and tough conversations that can't always be around, escargot and and $300 dates. Yeah. Can you love me at Starbucks level? Mm-hmm. Right. And if not, you're really able to kind of vet through and see, all right, this is who I need to keep, and this is just for.
How are you able to tell that though? Because, my thing down through the years have been, I didn't know if they wanted for me, and you two know me from me giving you a chance on TV.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right.
For 16 years, and that's including everybody, because I said this on the show with you all. Where did you come from? Who sent you? Do you all go through that? Like, who sent you? Like, what do you want? Because you feel like everybody is at you. So how do you talk about how do you vet that person wants Eddie and not the stage and the exposure that Eddie brings?
One word: no. No, yeah. You see how people respond to no.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we got quiet when you said no.
Yeah, I was like, what happened?
Yeah.
They still stay around after the no?
Exactly. Right.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
How do
That's
people
really
respond to your no and you can't be here and this, that, and the other? We can't do this or whatever the case may be.
Boundaries.
Exactly. Setting healthy boundaries.
Yeah.
And if people try to, cross those boundaries and barricade those boundaries, so to speak.
You don't hear men talk about boundaries that much.
We don't, because we weren't raised to create them.
Yeah, right. You hear women talking about that non-negotiables, but men should have non-negotiables and boundaries also.
Yeah.
Because if you have money, right, and a woman is asking you to do something with your money for her, you can tell her no.
That'll show tell you.
And if her response is in a way that is like, well, you have money, you should be doing these things for you, then I think that's a clear indicator of her motives.
100%.
And I think as men, we got to be more clear, because we allow women to stick around longer than they should, just because they may meet some form of needs that we may have for ourselves, some sexual needs, some emotional needs, being in your space needs, right?
Yeah.
And we allow women to just occupy that space, knowing that these ain't the women that we gonna be with.
I just did a show on that. Yeah.
But I'm going to take another direction, fellas, because sometimes, you know, I want to buy the women a nice thing. You know what I mean? And it's tricky, man, because, you know, you think about somebody you appreciate and you say, man, you know, I appreciate you, you know, and I think if she gets into the conversation saying, oh, well, you have money, X, Y, Z, starting to count your dollars, I think that's a little interesting. Yeah. But sometimes, you know, if you know somebody who you like, you know, if it makes you happy, you want to buy them that nice thing.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And so, partly I've heard somebody say is, you know, I heard one of my older friends, man, you know, who has, you know, I say I listen to the gray hairs. He has more wisdom than me, and he says, you know, as long as you're making me happy, you know, if this handbag or these shoes make you happy, then you know I'm down for buying that for you. You know what I mean? And so I kind of don't.
So what happens when you meet adversity? And what happens when your pockets ain't as heavy as they used to be?
Well, you're also talking to a guy whose gym just blew up, so this is probably the perfect time to be saying this. This is the perfect time to be saying this. Yeah.
When it all falls down.
When it all falls down, right?
That'll tell you what they're here for.
Yeah. So I mean, you know, it's funny because I made a joke about that. I said, you know, I was at dinner earlier. I said, you know what, you got to pay for this, right? Yeah. I was at a business meeting. She said, shut up, boy, you still. And this is a business relationship. Shut up, boy, you still got money. And that's the thought process of just like, you know, sometimes when you have money, you know, you shouldn't be spending it on said thing. And I think the other thing too, Bishop, is
which would be a good time to say, no, I got you. Because I know what you're going through.
I know 100%, right? Instead of,
character.
You know, I know you got money, right?
Yeah, but even if you do, you don't know, you don't count my,
don't count what I got going on.
Yeah.
And then the other thing too is I think oftentimes we are, you know, individual businessmen, right? You know, I played college football, but I've never caught a pass for Detroit Lions. You know what I'm saying? You know, I don't rap, you know? And so I feel like that lifestyle, especially when we talk about a certain age group of women, which are right up under, I think you're right where I'm at, are right up under us, they think that like, you know, they think that lifestyle is a real thing. They don't know what real deal, like, yo, this money I'm making needs to go into investments, and you know I can't sit here and buy Chanel bags every, you know what I mean. But you know I saw, you know I know you got, you know, girls look at them little when you in your cup holder when you go to the bank and they say a little receipt. they look at those. You know what I mean? I tried it once. They move them. They be moved. I'd be like, hold on, she was going through these. I had these anyway. But they know, and I think someone who would pressure you to not understand your vision, I think that's the difference. I don't think the problem is the woman wanting a nice thing. I think the problem is when they, you know, you set that boundary, as you said, Dr. Carnes, and they want to overstep that. I think that's more the problem than them wanting nice things.
So, yes or no, because she going to say we didn't answer the question. Do you establish wealth while you're single before you get married? Yes or no? Halfway there, maybe.
Yeah, I think as long as you're heading that direction, I think it's cool.
I'm gonna say yes.
Okay.
I want to establish wealth before I get married.
Okay.
Some people define wealth differently, but I think a man should establish a nice little nest egg for himself.
Now let me reverse that. How much should she be established?
All right, we ain't about to get kicked off the show tonight. You ain't get beaten up, we walked out of here.
I've been doing this for a while.
Hey, plot twist.
I want nobody sitting by my car when I walk out.
Plot twist. Well, it's pre-recorded, so plot twist.
Okay.
So how much should she? Do men of status and influence and wealth, how much do you look at that? Her being a star, should she be?
Man, I think it's great. I think it's great when women come with education and got their own thing rolling. But more times than not, Bishop, I've learned, and these are women I've dated, women I haven't dated, women I know, the more education a woman comes with, and it's like I got aunties and everything. I got aunties with PhDs, and I got aunties with high school diplomas. And the more education they come with, I hate to say this, Bishop, but sometimes it seems like those women are a little more problematic than the women who...
I got it. Got my own.
Yeah, they're a little more problematic. Just in conversation, they just seem a little more like... Like I don't need you. You know what I'm saying? I got my own kind of this
As he
if
looks
type
over
of.
to the side.
No, I'm just saying what I'm saying, making sure nobody around. But we hate to, we hate to talk about that. But a lot of times, I got honest, it's hard to have conversations with because they feel like they so entitled to more of it. They're hard to get along with, Bishop. They're hard to get along with. I'm not going to say how much money they got to have, but when it comes to education, they making their money doing their thing. Sometimes they're a little hard to get along with. I will say that.
So does that mean you don't look there as much as you would look to somebody maybe not have as much of an education? Or because oh yeah?
No, I think the first thing I value with a woman is her ability her submissiveness, my ability to get along with her. You know what I mean? Because I've met a lot of great women. I remember this woman, anesthesiologist, she lived out of town and was a great woman, making $500,000 a year. Anesthesiologist, right? Big penthouse spot. And I won't even name the city, but man, she was just very tough to get along with. Like just somewhat combative for no reason. Very, very a little snarky.
Very,
it was kind of like
very, I don't need you.
Yeah, very like just kind of like in conversation. I remember we went to Powell. That's the restaurant. Not Powell. What is that restaurant? It's that Asian restaurant. It's kind of like Vegas, Chicago, or some of those.
PF Chang's?
Not PF Chang's. No,
I know what you're talking about.
Tao.
They got them in LA. Yeah, Tao.
Went to Tao, and it was just very like, just kind of man.
I thought you were talking Mr. Childs. That's what I
Not Mr. Childs. Yeah, it was. But yeah, she was just very like kind of. I'm like, man, I'm the type of dude she wants. And she kind of very like you're not a nice person. Like I could tell she had like a little mean edge to her, and she felt entitled. And I just didn't like that. You know what I mean? I'd rather, the $500,000 is nice. I'm probably not gonna get none of that money anyway. But I'd rather just take a woman that got a nice regular job and that listens and that's nice to get along with and that's great to wake up to. That's just me. That's just me. So
I've experienced that before too. I've experienced that, but I don't want to generalize and put all women into that category, right? For me, I do like my woman to have some education about herself, some wealth about herself, some substance about herself. Because for me, it's not just about me, right? I want to be equally yoked, right? I don't want to be talking down or talking up. I want to be talking eye to eye. I want us to be strategizing together. Because for me, two things, right? Legacy. When we have children, my daughters will emulate their mother. Is the woman I marry someone that I want my children to look up to? For me, I want my woman to be educated. I want my woman to, she may not have the biggest bank, right? She may not make more money than me, but she got to contribute. Because, again, you talked about inflation. You talked about, we know the power of two households' income and what that does for the family.
You're not talking 50-50.
We ain't gonna get into 50-50. So you change the topic.
It sounds like you're talking 50-50.
It sounds like you're talking 50-50.
It sounds like you're talking 50-50.
So
I know you probably don't follow me, but I'm an advocate against. I've done all kind of videos. I've gotten cussed out. I got a video out there that's 1 million views off of that. You talking 50-50? Or you?
I'm not talking 50-50. I'm talking weighted average. So I'm talking. I'm talking contributing. Let
me ask you this: do you believe that the man should take care of the basics, the mortgage, the car, utilities, and all that, and then she adds?
Absolutely.
Okay, then we good.
That's fair.
Okay, we're not going to end the show.
Because then you got the Wi-Fi, the utilities, the groceries, all that. I think that's fair, right?
Yeah.
But that still contributes to the overall pool of money that the family can have.
Yeah.
Because it's not about just about. For me, I'm building generations.
Yes.
Like I'm thinking 10 generations. So how do I build? Yeah, I can build a small enough nest egg that can get passed along. But if I got a partner, we can build a bigger nest egg.
Yep.
Right? That can get passed down. They can build a bigger nest egg. So for me, we live in a generation where women can make just as much as men can. So why do we feel like we should go for the lesser value women that don't have the level of education or can't pay some bills, right? We all know what it looks like when the financial stress is on the men. And we gotta go work 24 hours a day, have 3 jobs in order to pay the bills or for us to go on vacation or for us to have the niceties. Like, why can't we share the burden? Right? Why can't, cause God, again, it's a helpmate. So for me, I'm building legacies. And for me, just the full circle, I want my daughters to emulate the woman that I marry. So I want my woman to be educated. I want her to strategize. I want her to be able to give input. I want her to be able to see my blind spots. I don't want her to just be a fly on the wall. Because that's usually what most women do that are not of a level of education. They just present. They just fly on the wall. They just having fun, right? But I want a woman that could give me strategy, help me think, help me resolve conflict, right? You know what I'm saying? Like,
I gotta get my guy. I gotta get my brother. I gotta get my brother. Oh, I gotta feel the gloves. I gotta get my brother. They came in here and I gotta get my brother. And this where we're gonna have fun. So the next question is really going. Go ahead, Amon.
No, it's just I think in a perfect world, that has, and I'm 34 now for context. I think in a perfect world that is great. Right? In a perfect world, that's great. I'm just saying, so many times women I've dated and haven't dated, that typically is not the case. Right? That's typically, it's cool if if a woman making just as much money as you, and she's saying, you know what, you're the leader of the household, like like it says in the word, you lead the household, and I'm looking for you for guidance and everything. Mm-hmm. But I'm telling you, more times than not, if you go look at, and I got a big case study, because I got a popular gym of women, and I've had women who are in that gym who are divorced. Mm-hmm. And when I ask those women who are divorced, they lawyers, they PhDs, they still pulling up in a nice brand new shiny Lincoln, you know what I mean, or Escalade or something. And we have these discussions all the time, and the fact of their thought process, they were able to pay bills and help and do all that. You know what I mean? That's the easy part for them. Yeah. It's the fact that they really want to. You got to ask yourself, is the woman I'm dealing with right now, does she really want to listen? Yeah. I ask women that all the time. I'm like, tell Armand, my boyfriend, my husband, he X, Y, Z. I said, let me ask you something. Do you want to listen? They said, what you mean? Would you like to listen? Some women say, oh, I'd love for you to tell me what to do. I love to be guided, right? Yeah. Other women are like, no, when I think about it, I really don't want to listen to nobody. And more times than not, I'm just saying, as a disclaimer, not grouping them together, as a disclaimer, that comes from women who are who have a little more masculine energy and have been able to make a certain amount of money, and where they like, you know what, I would like to have a man, but really I don't need you. And we have divorce rates that speak towards exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah, they may not need, but a lot of them are saying, they don't need, but they do want.
They do want.
They won't admit that.
But one ain't gonna keep you. One ain't gonna keep you together.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
No, it's not.
One ain't gonna go.
No.
When through what they say, for better or worse. When they get worse, they leave, and we got statistics that say that they out the door.
So I did a show prior to this one with 2 women, 2 men, but I want to ask you all, because this was one of the questions that came up, and we're gonna stay right here. And Eddie, you can chime in. And I think I know the answer from D. We friends now. I think based upon what he said. But there's a thing now that, and Steve Harvey talked about it. Do you ask a woman, what do you bring to the table? Eddie, starting with you.
Well,
is it okay to ask a woman, what do you bring to the table?
Yeah.
Not just your table.
Right. I think, and let me even go back to what you were talking about. Okay. There's a satirical statement made by Chris Rock, who said that Jay-Z would still date Beyonce if she worked at Burger King.
Right.
But Beyonce would not date Jay-Z if he worked at Burger King. You see, there is a difference and a dichotomy in relationship to a man being the provider and, of course, being the person who brings home the bacon in that aspect. When you think about, who's bringing what to the table, it is Shirley Chisholm who said, bring a folding chair at least. What are you adding to the table? There's already a table. What are you able to add to it? And I think beyond that, it is the truth and transparency about what you have gone through. When you think about the divorce rate, 70% of divorces are filed by women, and generally it's because of irreconcilable differences. I was not happy.
Right.
And so when you talk about is what Armand said, for better, for worse, what do we quantify as for worse? Yep. Because a lot of times we're just going into for the better and for the happy. Yep. And we have not necessarily itemized, this is a deal breaker for me. This is what hurts me. This is what's traumatic to me. This is what's a trigger to me because of how I was raised, or because of this is what love looked like to me, or lack thereof. Mm-hmm. These are my boundaries. This is, in many cases, beyond just what the 5 love languages are. safety and security is not necessarily maybe one of them that's on there, but it is for me.
Right.
You know, and I think when we really have those courageous conversations about beyond just your body and beyond just his money, what do you really bring that is for longevity?
Yeah.
Right? Because, you know, these days people are getting married for a wedding. A wedding is a sprint, but a marriage is a marathon.
Yeah, they don't think about they don't think about what happens after the wedding.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that there's a whole
absolutely.
marriage. There's you wake up the next morning like, okay, what's next?
Yeah.
And because they only prepare for one day.
Yeah.
And marriage is supposed to be for
That
a
was the
lifetime.
pinnacle.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the pinnacle.
Right. Yeah.
So what's next? And really, marriage is supposed to be forever. It's a lifetime thing, but it's the only thing we don't prepare for.
And that's scary, Bishop. The whole thing of that as a young man, a married man, that's a scary thing to bet your, that's a scary thing to bet your future on.
Yeah.
Then I were just talking about real estate because it's a nice tangible asset.
Yeah.
It's a solid rock you can build your foundation on. And you talk about, investing this time and money and energy and building this great relationship, which you think is going to be awesome. You know what I mean? And, for somebody to want to walk out on you, I think it's a scary thing.
Let me. I want to stay in the same vein. Kiara also asks, do you believe very successful men can truly find happiness and have their needs met by highly driven and successful women who have the same demanding schedules as they do? Or do they believe they are more compatible with women who aren't as career driven or busy?
So to answer your first question, do I ask a woman what does she bring to the table?
Oh, so I'm sorry.
Never. I never ask that because as a man, I should be clear in who I'm dating. I should be clear in her character, her morals, what her faith is, what her religion is. I can see what you bring to the table. I don't gotta ask you anything. I can see how you contribute on a daily basis to our relationship. Are you depositing or are you withdrawing? I can see how you conduct yourself around people. I can see what your motives is, I as a man, I feel like we should be able to understand like what a woman brings to the table. We should ask good enough questions to see what she brings to the table. It should never be what do you bring to the table. It should be what are you motivated in? What's your goals? What's your ambitions? What are you focused on? What is your religion? What is your faith? All of these questions give us insight and information for us to make a decision.
So you should watch more than ask questions.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, see if it's I actually say that in my book that I think that we ask too many questions because people will say whatever you want them to say. But do your words line up with your actions?
Absolutely.
Because she can say all day long.
She can, and I think that level of discernment, we can read BS.
Absolutely.
You heard that BS come out of her mouth.
Absolutely.
You validated it or you didn't validate it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right. So I think that we just got to be more clear on who we are, and more clear on what we're looking for. I think when we get clear on that, we can easily identify what women bring to the table and what they don't. We know when women here just for a good time.
Yeah.
Or we know when women, or the woman that's like, oh, she ready for marriage, like she own me, she trying to get me. We say that to the fellas, right?
Right, absolutely.
So we don't say that.
How soon do you know that?
To know what? What was the question? Hold on.
The marriage. That she ready for marriage. That she ready for marriage. What you just said to him.
From her perspective or from your perspective?
From your perspective. How do you know? How soon do you know that she's ready for marriage?
All right, let me make that point. Let me change that point. I want to say she's ready for marriage, or because it's
marriage material.
I want to say marriage. In that moment, what I was saying to our mom was that when women are kind of like pushing marriage or like really trying to marry you, now knowing when they are ready.
Yeah, but I want to go.
When they're not ready for marriage, I've never been married, right? And I can tell you what I know what a woman looks like for being my girlfriend. I've never been engaged. So
you're not dating her as a girlfriend, as a potential wife?
I am. So for me, I look at it like this: like there's levels to relationships. At each level, you unlock a different person or a different accolade or asset. So for me, when I first meet somebody, we're just friends, right? We're just having that friend. We may not get into too much in deep details, but when I start dating you, I'm dating you with intentions for you to be my girlfriend. And then when I get you my girlfriend, I'm dating you for potential to be engaged to you. Now, when I'm engaged to you, I'm dating you because I want to see. Who
So you don't have to ever be married before to know what you want in a wife if you know what you want.
in a girlfriend. Is that what
In
you
a wife.
I think that people evolve, and I think that as you evolve, she evolves, and I think that at every level you must do your due diligence and constantly analyze that relationship because what you needed her as a girlfriend may not be the same things you need as a wife.
I don't know if I agree with that.
Yeah, I think
I don't know if I agree with that.
I think the same things. Go ahead, Bishop. I'm sorry.
Yeah, let me just.
Yeah.
I don't know if I agree with that, because if your intentions are right and if you're serious about the person, then you're dating her as a girlfriend. See, a woman don't become a wife; she's already a wife. You're already
Absolutely.
a husband. So I don't know if I fully. I hear you, but I don't know if I fully agree with that. I think she's already a wife. The question is she your wife based upon your expectations of what you want in a wife?
Okay, and did you think your expectations ever change?
They evolve.
Right, and that's the point I'm trying to say. Like your expectations evolve as y'all evolve.
And then you need to have that conversation, because this is what I went through. I was married 20 years, and what had happened was we did everything together, and then here comes this great opportunity to do the Word Network and be their first host for my own show, and that wasn't her thing. And so what happened was we never talked about the terms and condition had changed. That now I'm just doing this and she's not a part of this. So we needed to have a conversation because the terms and condition had changed. And a lot of times we don't talk about that evolution that you're talking about.
So, do you think that by communicating your expectations at this next level would have saved your marriage?
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's why I'm an advocate for, you know how you get PayPal will tell you, or one of your they'll tell you, please read this. The terms and condition have changed.
Yeah.
Please read the signs
Yeah.
of your relationship or your marriage, but because you are climbing that ladder. That's why I tell younger guys all the time, as you climb in the ladder, don't forget the person that you're with, because we did that. It was both of us. But you know whose fault it really was? It was mine, because I'm the man. And I should have slowed down and said, hey, we losing this for success. You know, American Gangster said, he said, what do you do when success is killing you?
Let's take a shot at you.
Yeah, success is
absolutely.
taking
Yeah.
a shot at you.
Yeah.
So I think that even as you're talking to that person as a girlfriend, if your intentions are right, you're seeing them as a wife. So I think at that point, if you are growing even then, you need to say it.
I agree with that.
Not. Let me ask you this, because this is good. Ray, I'm
I'm
coming.
in the hot seat, boy.
Do you either one of y'all, because I don't want you to feel like that.
No, I'm
Either
messing
one-
with you.
Either one of y'all, do you feel that when you first start talking to her, if your girlfriend are too long, that you can outgrow her?
You put him in the hot seat. Bishop.
Either one of y'all help him. Can you forget about who's sitting over there?
Ask it one more time.
Do you think, as you see her as a girlfriend,
Yeah.
because I think that sometimes we grow on the girlfriend-boyfriend level, that you can outgrow. I mean, let's remember one of Tyler Perry's favorite movies, the one that he was getting married to Gabrielle Union. What was that? I can't think of the movie. Anyway, he decided that he had evolved. He didn't want to be this great a mogul. He just wanted to go and enjoy life. And he ended up dating the maintenance lady, the housekeeper of the building. And y'all remember that? Good Deeds?
Yeah, Good Deeds.
Yeah,
Yep.
Good Deeds. He evolved into something else. And they never got married. They announced to everybody that the engagement is off. And Gabrielle understood he needed more than that. That's where I'm at in my life. I don't really care about the things that I cared about when I was married for 20 years, climbing the ladder. I want somebody to love me now.
Yeah.
I'm at a different place. I want them to have a little bit too now, don't get me wrong. So do you think, gentlemen, that girlfriend, you can outgrow them if they don't grow together. If you don't grow together,
So your thoughts is that if he would have made
you put me on the hot seat now.
Yeah. 'Cause now you asking for clarity, right? If the husband in Good Deeds would have made Gabrielle his wife, you think that they
Miserable.
right?
Because he evolved from her. They went this way, and she understood. Real love will release you and know that you're not the one. He needed to spread his wings and enjoy life. And that woman that had nothing caused him to be able to do that.
And he evaluated the situation
Yeah.
at the girlfriend stage and identified that Gabrielle fiance stage.
And they walked into that reception, to that announcement of their, supposedly, that they were getting ready to get married, and said, we're not getting married.
Because his expectations have changed.
Expectations have changed.
Yeah.
Before they got married. I think many people need to do that.
Absolutely. Yeah. Is the person clipping your wings or causing you to spread your wings?
Yeah.
You know
what he said.
Man.
He can sum up everything we just said and make us sound stupid.
No, yeah.
You're not going to
That's
answer me?
good.
You're not going to answer me?
Yeah, I'm gonna answer you.
He's going to get in that
he said them good words,
gonna
man.
Be on the hot seat like that.
I forgot what I was saying.
And sometimes
You can just point at him and say that.
sometimes a woman can feel as if she has ascended to a level quicker than beyond where the relationship really is as well. You on a job and you feel like you need a promotion, you just 2 weeks in. You ain't put enough time in. I'm looking at all these issues that we're having. Let's deal with this on this level, because if we ascend and we take these same problems to this level,
I agree.
we gonna crash. So it has to be, where are we at, both to where we take it to another level.
And if you feel like these problems or these scenarios or whatever we can't overcome at the girlfriend level, do you think that's prerequisite to go to the next level? Like if we can't get over these challenges, then why should
Why
we
should
go
we
to the
right?
next
Why
level?
we don't.
Then it becomes, shameless plug for my next book, my book that just came out, Compatibility Factor. There's no compatibility.
Yeah.
So back to your first statement then. So right?
Come on.
We said she was a wife.
Just not yours.
Okay.
She's just not your wife. She is a wife. She's just not your wife. Too many bumps in the road. Not compatible. She is a wife. One man's trash is what?
Another man's treasure.
Another man's treasure. Or as the man said, another man's come up. So she's a wife. And I think that's what we discard people because they're not for us.
Yeah.
But they are for somebody.
I agree with that.
Yeah. You ain't getting out of that easy.
God, man. I'm wiggling my way out. You keep snatching me back.
Y'all came to talk and you listening to me.
I'm trying to get some wisdom here.
Yeah, no, I think it's more admirable to walk away. And I've been here and I'm talking from, it's more admirable to walk away than to mess lives up because you worried about what a bunch of people, in Good Deeds, the reception was full. I mean, people he worked with, people with money, his mama.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what's more important? To say that I'd rather walk away from all of y'all and be happy than to walk into something and be unhappy. And how many times do we do that? Know that this ain't the one.
So,
Yeah.
is that courage?
It is.
Right? Because
It is courage.
you got to face someone that truly probably loves you deep down inside.
But
You
is
may
that
love him.
enough?
It's not enough. But is it for most people, that's enough to stay?
We fool ourselves to think that, but you know,
Love is enough.
Yeah.
Tina told us. We didn't listen to her.
What's love got to do?
He swear he gets it everywhere different.
Bishop, put me on there. What's love?
No, seriously, it's a secondhand emotion. Sometimes you have to switch from love to logic.
That's right.
Love has caused a lot of folk to have children that they didn't want to have. Love has caused a lot of people to have bills they didn't want to have. Love has caused, at the end of the day, I love you enough to say goodbye.
Right.
It's painful.
Yeah. Sometimes your heart will take you where your mind can't keep you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And how many people have gotten married to somebody that they look at and they know this is not the one, and then it leads to cheating. Then you have the what they call them? What piece is that? The side piece? The chicken?
Side piece.
I think that, and this is a quick caveat, Bishop, if you want to go in a different direction, let me know. I think that married couples should be more honest about how forgiving or how they've navigated with cheating, because I think that so many people who are not married, you know what I mean, all of us are very scared of being cheated on. And, I talk to women about relationship and they say, well, I'm just not trying to get cheated on. And like, that's their focus, to not get cheated on. I think that, I think people make mistakes in general. And I think we're doomed as a generation if we go into marriage and the focus is getting cheated on all the time. I know that's a lot of social media, but social media is like leading our conversation a lot of times. But
absolutely,
it's all about like getting cheated on and how to be. This is about right now, right? If you look at all the relationship content, it's about like getting cheated on. Like if like it's literally so much of it is the fear of getting cheated on. And I think that when we talk about marriage, I say all the time, woman cheat on me, I'm getting rid of her. And, you know what I'm saying? 2 seconds flat. And I think to myself, I vow to this woman and say, to death do us part. And I really believe those vows that I say before the congregation and before the Lord. Cheating is not a reason to leave. We love to, be, scriptural layered people. But then, and please, tell me if I'm wrong, Bishop, cheating is not a reason to leave a marriage.
I agree.
And so I just think it's so interesting that so many people are so nervous around when they say the word cheating. Everyone gets so nervous when it's like, hey, look, you know what? When I'm getting married, going to altar, I gotta
go another way.
I gotta look at the fact that maybe one day my girl is as I'm not always going to maybe look this way. I'm not always going to be as able-bodied, and maybe one day my woman might cheat on me.
Yeah.
And that I can't believe I'm even saying that, but I'm I got a few gray hairs now, so I'm getting a little more humble.
So do you feel the same way if she cheat on you?
Yeah, I think that
you stay, because men. I don't believe men can handle like women.
No, I right now in my head, I say I can't, because I feel like women cheat, it's like an emotional cheat. And a lot of times when men cheat, we just wanted to try a different restaurant. You know what I mean? We just wanted, we like, man, you know what? I had London Chop House. I'm just being honest with you. I'm just being honest. When men cheat, it just be like, man, I got caught in a moment of weakness. And but when women cheat, it's been this festering of, that work boyfriend been working on them for a while. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that's, I think, the difference is. But I think that I don't know. I don't want to change the subject, but I just think that when I hear cheating, I think that people try to shut relationship down because somebody cheated. And at the end of the day, when we talk about marriage, they don't say love them to death do you apart unless you cheat.
So, and we can close with this. Y'all got to come back. Y'all got to come back.
I know we just get started.
We didn't even get past. I didn't even get to question 3. With 2 questions. So about that cheating thing. Do you think that a man can do without cheating? Do you think that a man can actually just be with one woman? Honestly. You was asking me? No. Yeah, because you started the cheating thing. You switched it, so I'm going to go with it. And you don't have to answer because you.
No, I'm going to answer this one. I've been doing the work, though.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I can answer this one.
Man. It's I got a boxing gym, Bishop, and I love boxing because boxing is one of those things. Until you get in the ring, you don't really know what. Most people don't know what they're doing until they get in the ring. Till you get that grease in your face.
Do you dance when you box?
Do I dance when I box?
Like Muhammad Ali did?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I dance a little bit.
I can tell because you dance around this question.
No. I'm just trying to draw it down. I'm trying to bring you closer. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get you to round one. Dancing. You know what I mean? No, I'll say is I don't know because I've never been married. I don't know what it feels like to have that constraint of, and I'm also saying out of humility because I don't want to seem like for every man who's ever been in marriage and cheated to think that I'm better, that I can do it better. Like, I go in there, I ain't never gonna cheat. Life has humbled me and taught me, like, look, before you go in that thing, you better just say a prayer and say, God, give me grace if I do mess up. But my hope is that I can go without cheating. But I don't know if it's the same as having a girlfriend not cheating and having a wife and not cheating. I've also never had to do anything in my life that was to death do you part. everything that we do in our lives, I can get out of my car lease. I can sell the house I live in. You know, I can get rid of I can change any situation in my life.
Wow, that's
with the
good.
exception of my little daughter. You know what I'm saying? I can change any situation.
That's
I can get, and some men choose not to take care of that. But I mean, I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
I can get out of any situation in my life. But that marriage, that one thing that say to death
Supposed
do
to be
you
for
part.
life.
Yeah, you're like, man, I gotta forever, ever, forever, ever, forever, ever. You know what I mean? And I think that men may not talk about it, but I know in my head that's a huge leap for me to take to say, man, I got to do this thing for forever. You know, and I think forever is a long time.
So do you believe that that a man can actually be with one woman?
It got to be a commercial break or something coming up. There got to be some type of...
And the seats are not heated.
No, I think... I'm like, man, Bishop got massage here too? It's like my car seats. He did massage. No, I think so, because I know men, in my head, I know men, my real estate partner as well, who are 100% faithful men. But then at the end of the day, I don't know what they do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think I know men, you know what I mean? In my family, my Uncle Tony, I can think of men in my life who are... you know, who I think are faithful men, but I know some things I don't know about them because some things they don't know about me, you know. And so in my head, I like to think, yeah, of course you can be faithful, you know what I mean. But I you know, yes, I think a man can be with
kind of maybe.
Yeah, I think a man can be with one woman.
I feel like I only knew one man that was like my grandfather because we knew where he was at all time. If he did, he cheated on the moon. I promise you, because he was there taking my grandmother to work every day. You know, when he got off of work, he came back home, and then he went and picked her up.
But how old was granddad then? When he was granddad, by the time he was granddad, he already was how old?
Well, I moved here. I was 9 when I moved with them, so he was already 60.
Right.
50. Yeah, he lived until he was 93.
Okay. I mean, if I'm 80, 90, I can chill out. You know what I mean? But 30, 40, 50, 60, I don't know. I don't know.
So you think that it is not older guys that cheat?
I think there may be, but
They've
I
been
think
having
it's
other
easier.
families for years.
I know.
why they
But now
made
we got
Viagra.
social media.
Oh, cheating.
Okay, you say you got this one.
Yeah. And this is not because my girlfriend is in the room.
No, I believe you.
But I used to have I don't think it matters of where you're at, as far as like relationship wise. I think it comes down to self-discipline, right? That's something that you gotta balance before you even get married, right? Mm-hmm. Because you can be with one woman as your girlfriend. Mm-hmm. You actually can have no sexual partners until you get married,
right?
If you self-discipline, right?
Exactly, yeah.
I used to think that I used to think the same way, right? And it's mainly because of how I was brought up and what I saw. I saw my mother cheating on my father, my father cheating on my mother, my uncles cheating. I saw my friends, multiple girlfriends. So I had a skewed upbringing, and it led me to think that it was impossible for men to only be with one woman. And how do we, at an early age, I could not understand how I was gonna figure this thing out. I just couldn't, right? And it honestly took God to help me figure this thing out. It honestly took God to help me to understand that, yes, you can have one woman and you don't have to cheat on her. And God took me on a series of paths, right? I met 3 gentlemen. One gentleman, we had lunch together in a private setting. And we talked like men talk, right? He had no reason to tell me that he didn't cheat on his wife. But he told me, he's like, I got 6 kids, I've never cheated on him. He could have told me all of these war stories and how he did all of this and that and the third, but he planted a seed in me. Mm-hmm. And I didn't even know what it was going to grow to, but I was in awe because I couldn't understand how a good-looking brother making good money, how you doing what? Driving a nice car.
And that's what most men don't get a chance to hear and experience.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I heard it.
That is possible.
It's very possible.
Yeah.
So for me, it planted a seed in me, and it just grew, and it grew, and it grew, and it grew.
Greatness, yeah.
And then I got my relationship with God, and I got in the Word, and I started reading about all the sexual immorality and all of the things that you gonna get by having that sexual immorality. So for me, my fear in God will not let me cheat on my wife. I'm so afraid of God that of the consequences that's gonna come when I cheat on my wife, I won't dare do it. So for me, I think it's about really practicing that self-discipline right now. You can do it with your girlfriend, right? You can practice sexual discipline with your girlfriend today. You don't have to wait till you married. You don't have to wait till you get engaged or like, all right, this is my last hoorah, y'all. I'm about to go out with a bang and then I'm gonna cut, because it don't work like that.
Yeah.
It don't, right? It works like you putting in the work every day, putting in them reps. You go to the gym, right?
Yeah, 100%.
You ain't get that big by just, the first time.
Yeah.
You gotta constantly show up for yourself, for God, and for the woman you say you care about. Because if you say you want to have this covenant with God, then how dare you break that covenant? How dare you say you to death do us part, and you believe in God, and you had this covenant in front of God, and then be disobedient.
Yeah.
Right. So I believe that there are a lot of men out there that we don't hear about that don't cheat on their wives. There are a lot of men out there that are celibate today that because they ain't out there shouting to the world, and it ain't the sexy thing to do.
Yeah.
Because the sexy thing to do is to have 4 or 5 women on our arms, right? But we knows the path that leads down, and some of us that are doing the work, some of us that are following God, we know that that's only going to cause more trauma. We don't get the glory by having all of these women. Right, you get the glory by doing what God told us in His Word, and He gave us clear instructions.
Yeah, Eddie.
This is a great conversation. Unfortunately, for us as men, our first shot at monogamy is marriage, and we fail miserably, simply because we know how to love a woman. We know how to love 1,000 women. We've never been taught the whole aspect of discipline to love a woman 1,000 ways. And when you think even about the dichotomy between men and women are taught, they're grown up, they're raised to say no, but they're not raised to hear no. You think about us as men, we're taught to hear no, but we're not taught to say no. So what happens when a woman who's not taught to hear no makes a move on a man who's not taught to say no? And if he does not acquiesce, is something sexually wrong with you?
What's up? What's wrong with you, brother?
You don't love Jesus that much.
Yeah, right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so if we don't have that type of discipline to be a Joseph and run away from that, to flee sexual immorality, as you were referring to, it always be a quicksand that we can't ever escape quick enough.
Yeah. Hey, y'all. We gonna do it. We gonna bring them back. We didn't even get through half the questions. If you want to send questions, you can go to our email address, groundbreakingpro@gmail.com. Groundbreakingpro, it's on the screen, @gmail.com. And for the next show, we'll consider your questions. Make sure you put in there where you're from. This has been enlightening. Some of you will say it's been interesting, but I think it has been thought-provoking. I tried to get some rhymes like Eddie, but I couldn't.
No, you got it.
Thank you all so much for coming, brothers. Tell us where we can find you.
The revolution not only be televised, it be digitized. Connect with me, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. We don't stop. At Eddie Connor, Jr., EDDIECONNOR. Put some respect on my name, JR.
Can you do my outro too?
Right.
You can do all of them.
You got it.
You can find me on all social media platforms at Mr. Revere.
Mr. Revere.
Mr. Revere.
All right.
You can find me everywhere at ArmandRashad.com, ARMONDRASHAD.
And you can find me at Bishop Greg Davis. Make sure that you hit the subscribe and the like button to keep that algorithm going. We're working on our YouTube channel. As you see, it's getting better and better. At the bottom, there's a place to donate. Keep us coming. Support the studio. Support what we're doing. In addition to that, I have a 4-book bundle. The relationship book bundle, When the Right One Comes. And then also, listen, every Monday night at 10 p.m., you can catch us right here. Go with God, y'all. Get your Go with God gear. Thank you, Ray. Thank you, Kay. That's our staff here. Peace out.